The parable of the cracked cup. The prophet spoke of a poor immigrant farmer in India. But his job went from farming when he got a major break. And now all he had to do, because his crops never came out right, his family was always struggling and starving. The elements were always against him. But serendipitously, he was in the right place at the right time. And he ended up being the water bearer for the king. Wow. And he had 2 vases, big vats. His entire day, he had to get up 3 hours before sunlight to make sure he was just back and could take care of his 2 faithful horses and repair his cart because the road and the terrain was horrific. And he would go to the river and he'd fill both vats. And it was a day's journey. But the king's subjects were always ready. They cheered him in. They helped him with the 1 vat, this big vat. And that filled enough water not only for the king, but for the kingdom, which is why all rejoiced. And then he would return every day. He would go to the river and fill both vats, but the kingdom only needed this 1 vat. What about the other? What about the other? Oh, that vat was very different. It wasn't molded right. It was cracked in many places. So why did this wise farmer turned water bearer for the king and the kingdom fill this vat? Because by the time it got to the kingdom, it was completely empty. And one day the vat, who was always down, who was never happy, no one cheered, ever. He approached his master and said, "Why do you fill me? Because I always come up empty." And the wise, loving water bearer looked and said, "Tomorrow, I will not fill you. I want you to observe your side. But on the way back, I want you to observe your brother's side." Vat said, "Okay." And he seemed a bit comforted. He observed on his side the next day endless amounts of flourishing and greenery. He saw deer and raccoons and rabbits and turtles all feasting on all of this foliage. And it was beautiful. The flowers, the blossoms. It was some sight to see. You could see young couples frolicking deeper in. He'd never seen any of that, for he was despondent that he knew by the time he got to the kingdom he would only be empty and useless, and no one would ever care or notice him. But on the journey back, anticipating the same beauty, especially from his magnificent brother Vat, he was quite perplexed. Dust, tumbleweeds, dirt, people coughing, barren, hard, the entire way back. No foliage, no animals feasting. So, the wise master said, "What did you see?" And the vat explained both. Do you understand why I've chosen you? Your brother, oh, he gets his reward. He does something that everyone cheers and notices. Did you see how many animals you fed? How couples united in the arrows of the many Cupid spirits? Did you see the beauty that you bring? Every day, no one notices. For you are a cracked cup, and it is only through you being cracked and very different that you bring refreshment wherever you go.